Hi, today we're going to have a quick look at how we can make a 3-oscillator synth using the simpler instrument sampler effectively in Ableton Live 12. We'll have controls with the macros over ADSR, filter, etc., pitch. We'll look how we can put this together. You will need some single cycle waveforms for this kind of concept. I'm going to upload this template or this instrument to my Patreon along with a whole bunch of single cycle waveforms which I've produced myself. Otherwise you'll have to make your own single cycle waveforms. Anyway, let's have a look, and it's very easy to put together, and it's quite a useful flexible thing to have. So we have our instrument rack here. Let's open it up very quickly. We can see that we have a chain here with 3 instances of simpler: oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and oscillator 3. Each one has within it a single cycle waveform effectively. These can be changed. Here I have a whole selection of waves. As I say, these I'll put up on Patreon, and you can simply just drop one, and let's try it. Whoever. Change this one here. So you can switch out very quickly the cycles that are going round and round. And basically all we have are the controls here linked to the instance of simpler. Let's go back to the first one here. So this one here, we have control over the frequency, resonance, type of filter, all basically mapped here from simpler and then repeated 3 times. Very simple. So there's nothing special going on. It's just the idea, the concept. You have your attack, decay, sustain, release, all part of simpler here. And I say I've mapped them over to allow you to have some top level controls here very easily of all of them. So they're all mapped. We'll get into this in a second in the build, but here you can see effectively we have filter type for 1, filter type for oscillator 2, filter type for oscillator 3, etc., resonance, etc. So it's just a repeat mapping for all of them. Okay, so here we have some control over the levels for the oscillators. We have the type of filter. Bring that back a bit. Okay, so as I say, it's very simple. Control the pitch here. However we want to set it up. Envelope amount. We have an LFO here, again from simpler. So we can select a wave. You'll see the wave type here. We can control how this LFO affects the filter cutoff and also the pitch. We have the rate here. Type of wave. Okay, I think you get the idea. Okay, let's have a look how it's put together. It's very simple. So I've kept my original instrument rack here. You just drag that in here onto a MIDI channel, and then you will have this. As always, you'll have 6 macros available. I've just opened them up here. Give me the full 16. We will need then to begin, if we go into our MIDI effects, we'll need the pitch here, so we'll drop that in. And then back to the instruments and our instance of simpler. We'll put those 2 in there. What we'll do now is very quickly set up simpler and map it. We have to actually drop a wave in here. So I'll just go to my selection here. Let's get this one here. Drop that one in. Go back to our instruments now. That allows us then to set up the loop 6 voices, I think it's okay. And so we need to map this. Let's just make sure it's actually working. I think it is. Right, that's working. Not too exciting, but it works. Let's map this now very quickly. If we come here, we can map the filter frequency here. We can map the resonance here. And this one, I believe, was the filter type. Then we can go into our, oh, actually we can do the ADSR. We'll map the A, the sustain, and the release here. We'll map those as well while we're here. So we'll come to the levels in a second. So we just have the envelope amount and the LFO. So let's go to the LFO. We click on here on the controls, and we can map the LFO wave type, the LFO rate, and here we have pitch, which we'll map down here. That's the how much the LFO controls pitch or affects pitch. Filter, we'll map that here as well. Then we have the envelope amount, which if we click here, we get the envelope, and then we have the amount here. Let's map that one here. And we'll also map our filter envelope to an ADSR as well. So this one, map here. This one we map here. Sustain and the release. Okay, so that's all set up now. We can come out of the mapping, and if we click down here at the bottom here, we have this icon here which opens up the chain. We will rename this first to Oscillator 1 sample. Okay, now we can, this one here I'm going to set to 6 dB. We can now right click, duplicate this, and we need 3 of these in total. And we go to this one here, we can rename this Oscillator 2 and Oscillator 3. Okay, so we have 3 duplicates now. We can now finish up the mapping here. If we go to Oscillator 3, we can map here the level. We can map the pitch to Oscillator 3 pitch. We can map now Oscillator 2 level here, and finally the pitch of Oscillator 2. So that's all the macros mapped. We can switch these back if we want. This is so we can go back to sample here. Might be better. Okay, they're all done. And we can hide this. The pitch on number 1 we don't actually map. We don't have control of the pitch. Due to the lack of macros, we can only offset pitch 2 and pitch 3. Okay, so we can close this up. We don't need these anymore. And that's pretty much it, I believe. Let's see if it works. Alright, just we need to do some okay, that works. All we need to do now is to go into our mapping and set some constraints. So we have here the Oscillator 3 pitch. You can choose which range you want. I believe I went to -24, +24, and also for the pitch here, -24. I'll put a screenshot up at the end of all of these mappings here, some screenshots, so that you can just have a look, get what you want. The rest, I think that's really it actually. Those we don't change. LFO, yes. So I think it's just the pitch level here, the range for the pitch. Okay, so let's try that again. As I say, you can now go in here, and if we don't want this, now perhaps I should explain how you get your single cycle waveforms in here. Once you have your folder, if you don't know, if you have the folder with them in, you just simply click on the add folder. This will bring up your, in my case, Mac browser for files, file browser, and I just find the location for the folder I want, which contains my cycles, and just click on it and it will appear here. So you'll end up with something like this. So we can change some of these out now. Okay, this we don't need, this area here now. Okay, I hope that's understandable. Let's just check. Pitch we can adjust. Turn off the other oscillators if we don't want them. Everything seems to be working. Okay, thanks for watching then. Hope this has been useful as always. Have a nice day. The screenshot to the mapping will come up. There's only really one that's of interest, just the pitch here, as I say, so not too much in this video. And go and have a bit of fun with it. Hope it's useful to you. If you need single cycle waveforms, where they're on the web, you can just look on the web, just Google them. Plenty. I'm going to put some up on the Patreon here, some I've made here. Yeah, take care, enjoy yourselves. Thank you.